All right, today we're going to dive into something called vibrational mastery. You've probably heard about it. It's this idea that getting what you want in life isn't really about chasing after things, but about changing who you are on a fundamental level. It's a philosophy that's grabbed the attention of millions, so let's break down what it's really all about. And this brings us to the big, central question of this whole philosophy. Think about it. Do you attract what you want, or do you attract what you are? It sounds like a small difference, right? But it's actually a huge, profound distinction. And honestly, getting a handle on the answer to that is the key to unlocking this entire way of thinking. So to really wrap our heads around that question, we've got to start with the core premise. You can think of this as, the fundamental rule book for the reality that this whole framework is built on.
Okay, so the whole thing is built on this idea of vibrational frequency. The theory goes like this. Nothing is really solid. I mean, everything, the phone in your hand, you, me, even our thoughts, it's all just energy that's vibrating at a certain rate. And that specific rate, well, that's what determines what it is and what it does.
And according to this philosophy, your personal vibration isn't just, a small part of the picture. It's everything. The source material literally says your vibration decides everything. It's not just one little aspect of your life. They're saying it's like the underlying operating system for your entire reality. So, this leads to a really important twist on the classic law of attraction. Some people call it the law of magnetism. The idea is that the universe doesn't just give you what you say you want. Nope. Instead, it acts like a mirror, reflecting your internal energy state right back at you. So in other words, and this is the key, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Okay, so if your vibration is so important, you're probably wondering, how do I even know what my vibration is? Well, this framework keeps it pretty simple. It basically breaks everything down into two main states. You've got your high vibrations and your low vibrations. And this is where your emotions become super important. Think of them as your emotional guidance system. It's like a built-in GPS for your energy. It's actually really simple. If you feel good, you're in a high vibration. If you feel bad, you're in a low one. That's it. Your feelings are a direct signal telling you what frequency you're tuned into. So here's how they say the cause and effect works. On one side, you have high vibrations. These come from feelings like love, joy, gratitude, the good stuff. And these are said to attract positive outcomes into your life. But on the other side, you've got low vibrations, which come from fear, anger, or doubt. And these are believed to bring in obstacles and all kinds of negativity. The connection here is presented as being totally direct and unbreakable. Your feeling is what creates your reality.
I know, this can all sound a little out there and abstract, but this philosophy is actually super focused on practical, hands-on application. So the big question is, how do you actually manage your energy? Well, let's open up the energetic toolkit this book talks about. So the whole path to mastery is built on doing these daily rituals. And these little practices have two main jobs. The first is to consciously, deliberately raise your frequency. And the second is to get rid of something called resistance. Just think of resistance as all those mental blocks and old beliefs that are weighing you down and keeping your vibrations stuck in a low gear. Okay, so this toolkit has four main tools. First up is visualization. This isn't just daydreaming. It's about mentally rehearsing what you want so intensely that your brain and body actually start to feel like it's real right now. Then you've got affirmations. These are those powerful present tense statements like, I am abundant, that are designed to basically reprogram your subconscious mind. Number 3 is the gratitude practice. This is a big one. It's all about shifting your focus away from what's missing and onto what you already have. It's supposed to be an instant vibration booster. And finally, there's the art of allowing. Now, this one can be the trickiest. It's all about letting go of that need to control every little outcome and just releasing that resistance. So, you're doing all this stuff, visualizing, affirmations, but why? What's the point? Well, let's see how all of this is supposed to apply to the big areas of life that most of us really care about. Really, it all boils down to making a huge mindset shift in these key parts of your life. So when it comes to wealth, the goal is to shift from a mindset of scarcity, of not enough, to one of true abundance. For relationships, it's not about finding someone, it's about becoming an energetic match for the kind of love you really want. And with health, it's about moving away from the low vibration of stress and into the high vibration of vitality. See the pattern? In every single case, the internal change is supposed to be what creates the external result. Okay, so before we wrap this up, I think it's really important to put these ideas into a bit of a broader context, just to give us some perspective. All of this stuff can feel very modern, very now, but the philosophy itself isn't new at all. It's actually part of a much wider spiritual movement called New Thought. And believe it or not, this movement has roots that go all the way back to the 19th century. And its core idea has always been that our minds have the power to shape our reality. And this brings us to a really important distinction we have to make. On the one hand, you have the metaphysical belief. This is the idea that your vibrations can literally physically pull things like objects, money, and events into your life. But then, on the other hand, you've got the scientific view. Science absolutely backs up the idea that positive thinking is amazing for your motivation and mental health. But as of now, there's just no physical law that science can point to that supports this idea of vibrational attraction. So that leaves us with the big question at the end of the day. Is the power in all of this truly metaphysical? An actual law of the universe like gravity? Or is it more psychological? The undeniable, proven power of a focused, positive mindset? Metaphysics or mindset? The real question is, where do you think the power really lies?